In a recent Q&A with John MacArthur, Grace Community Church, the subject of Steve Lawson's disqualification and his actions did come up. John did respond, explaining exactly his view on what exactly happened to Steve Lawson and how it impacted Grace Community Church and the Master's Seminary.
Threats and challenges, there's adversity that comes from inside the church when people that we respect and trust turn out to be different than we thought they were, or at least than they professed to be. When that happens, we're all stunned. How do we process that? How do we move past that?
Well, I know you're talking about Steve Lawson. And I say that with the deepest agony in my soul. But the first thing you have to understand is God is blessing this church in many, many ways. And that is one of the ways He is blessing us. To expose someone who is in a position they have no right to be in.
To purify the church.
To purify the church. I mean, this is the whole point of Revelation 2 and 3, right? Where the Lord sends all those letters to the churches and says, look, something isn't right in your church. You either deal with it or I'm coming and I'm going to blow the candle out and you're going to be out of existence. I mean, the church has two options. One, get right. Two, you're done. I mean, the church of Laodicea was done. Smyrna was done. You either deal with the sin. One of those letters basically says you have someone there who tolerates adultery. I'll remove the candlestick. It is fatal to a church to have that kind of behavior in leadership. And while none of us knew it or expected it because of the soundness of the theology, the Lord knew. And the Lord said, for Grace Church, that's enough. For the Master Seminary, that's enough.
It is always such a heartbreaking thing to see a once faithful servant fall into sin, and sadly so, just continue to do so for 5 years as Steve Lawson carried on with this inappropriate relationship with this girl. What hurts us the most is that we trusted Steve. We listened to him, and his theology was solid. There was almost flawless. And that's what makes it scary, that the devil can actually get into and use these kind of people to get into the church, as John said, would infiltrate within the church to cause disruption and separation and disunity. And that's exactly what Satan is out to do. And he can get to anybody.